If I'm being perfectly honest, getting into a group of 8 university is not exactly the flex you think it is. A degree from a group of 8 university does not guarantee you a job after graduation. Thousands of international students pay top dollar for a degree from a group of 8 university but still struggle right after graduation. So the real question is, how do you actually leverage a degree from a group of 8 university? If you're someone who's confused whether they should be going for a group of 8 university or not, or if you're someone who's already pursuing a degree from a group of 8 university and now think that, oh wow, I've paid top dollar, how do I actually leverage this? This video is exactly for you. My name is Anshul. I moved to Australia 4.5 years ago. Pursued a bachelor's in business, majoring in marketing, not from a group of 8 university. So I've had access to people, friends, acquaintances who did not leverage the exposure they had to the group of 8 university. And I've also had friends, acquaintances who have leveraged the access they had to a group of 8 university. And that's why I synthesized all of those experiences into 5 points that I'm going to be presenting in front of you, and hope that they add enough value that you're either able to make a decision in terms of whether you should be going for a group of 8 university or not, or second, how you actually can leverage a group of 8 university. So let's get right into it. First of all, some common misconceptions that a lot of parents have and a lot of students have as well. Just because it's a group of 8 university doesn't mean that they're better than other universities, that they'll automatically open doors for you, that you're guaranteed a job. Group of 8 university, sometimes I feel it's a sales gimmick for international students and migrants, because sometimes a lot of local students, a lot of local Aussies don't even know what group of 8 is. But in saying that, if you're going to a group of 8 university, and this is something that I've been envious of, you have access to certain people, you have access to certain lecturers, you have access to certain resources that people in other universities, people in other colleges don't really have. So that's what this whole video is all about. Going into the first point, leveraging the brand in conversations and not just on LinkedIn. So if I put, obviously you'll be putting that, or you're starting, let's say hypothetically, a Masters of Data Science from Adelaide University on LinkedIn. That doesn't mean that you'll automatically get connections. That doesn't mean you'll automatically gain a network. You actually have to leverage that brand in conversations face to face, in conversations on LinkedIn, in conversations when you go to career and networking events. That is the most important one, because a lot of the times, the degree that you're pursuing from a group of 8 university, if you've chosen that particular university after doing your due research, a lot of people know, for example, hypothetically, that if a person has chosen to do a Masters of Data Science from Adelaide University, they've done their due research, they've done their due diligence, and actually comparing the curriculum from, let's say, Flinders University, and chosen to do data science from Adelaide University, not just because of Group of 8, but because the curriculum is better. So when you leverage that brand in conversations, it automatically reflects academic rigor, and it also reflects that you've done your due research and made the decision not just via the brand name, but also via the alumni, via the reputation it has for that particular program, via the reputation, the professors and lecturers that are present in that particular degree. So you have to leverage that properly, and you have to use that to your own advantage. Second one is leveraging the alumni. This is something that a lot of my friends did not do. They didn't go on LinkedIn. They didn't look at the people that have passed through the lecture halls that they're in right now, and they haven't messaged them, because a lot of times the senior professionals that are in your big four firms, that are in your government agencies, that are doing research funded projects or are doing PhDs are generally from group of 8 universities, because of the reputation those particular degrees, those particular fields have in that particular group of 8 universities. So I've come across a lot of people who've never messaged or leveraged the connections they can build on LinkedIn just because they go to the same university as well. If I was in a group of 8 university, what I would be doing was I would be going to the LinkedIn page of that university, going to people, putting in necessary filters in. So let's say if I'm pursuing data science, I'll be putting the necessary filters in and reaching out to people and finding commonalities. Maybe we had the lecturer, the professor that I have right now, maybe they had the same one. Maybe both of us are interested in the same projects. Maybe the internship that they did or the organization that they're currently in touch with, maybe that is my dream organization. So I can use that group of 8 university. I can use that angle to get in touch with them and start a conversation with them, which is technically, quote unquote, leveraging the alumni network that I have access to now because I'm choosing to go with that group of 8 university. Third one is leveraging the research and the academic proximity you have, because a lot of the times the lecturers, the professors that are teaching in that group of 8 university are teaching because they're very experienced and they bring a lot of value and they bring a lot of experience to the table. Because see, obviously a university getting a group of 8 stature is a very big thing. Government pumps in a lot of money, pumps in a lot of resources into these universities. So automatically the access you have to the people that are in the university is a level higher to students who are going to other universities. But if you're just treating the group of 8 university as, oh yeah, classes are going on, I'm, choosing to do it online, I'm more so focusing on part-time work, doing Uber Eats, doing DoorDash, that's when you actually are not leveraging the academic, the research proximity you have via the group of 8 university, because most often than not, the professors are connected to the industry, the professors are currently working in the industry, they're leading research funded projects, they're leading research funded internships, they're looking for teaching assistants, they're looking for people who can add value to the projects that they're running. And that's where, you go a level higher when it comes to a group of 8 university. That's when smart students ask to assist in research, ask to become teaching assistants, volunteer in those projects, put their hand up to help the professors and lecturers. And that's when you go a level higher. Fourth one, leveraging the career services properly. Now, if I were to, personally for me, if I were to compare, let's say, my degree and the careers and networking events that happened for my degree at Adelaide University and for my degree at Torrance University, a very big, very big difference. Because just because they have the status of a group of 8 university, more organizations come to them. They have better industry partnerships. They're able to bring better career and industry events, industry nights onto university campuses. And I'm not saying that, companies come and hire graduates from group of 8 universities, but companies are happier to come to campuses of group of 8 universities because it gives them a status angle as well. It gives them that, oh, PwC is coming to Adelaide University. Obviously, PwC comes to Torrance University as well. The difference is in terms of the people they send to the different campuses. The difference is in terms of the conversations those people are having with people from Adelaide University and people from Torrance University. I'm not saying that, oh, if you're going to Torrance University, for example, you'll not be able to have those conversations. At the end of the day, it all boils down to you being able to do the work, your personality, your communication skills, everything individualistically to you. What I'm trying to say is that you just have an upper hand if you're going to a group of 8 university just because of the access you have to certain career sources and career services that they have on campus and off campus. Last but not the least, leveraging peer quality. I don't know if I mentioned this at the start of the video, but when it comes to international students and migrants, I'm not stereotyping, but generally people who choose to go to group of 8 universities are from middle class to upper class because they somewhat know that they have the capability to pay it back even though they're taking an education loan. When it comes to local students as well, they choose to go to group of 8 universities because that's the most well-known university in that particular city, especially when it comes to Sydney and Melbourne. And that's where a very important point that I mentioned at the start of the video is that you really have to compare the curriculum of the degree you're going for, of the industry you're going into in different universities. Now, Flinders University can have a better curriculum for a certain industry in comparison to Adelaide University. And if you know that, if you've done your due diligence, if you've done your research, and that's why you're choosing Flinders, fair game. That's the best thing. So you need to do that due research. But when it comes to the sort of access you have to people around you, let's say if you're going to UNSW, you said, you'll see so many people, you see so many founders, you'll see people who are already working on startups or are looking for investors or are looking for other people who they collaborate with. And you'll only have access to those sort of people if you're in that ecosystem, right? Now, if you're going to Sydney and if you're going to Torrance University, not saying that you'll meet lower quality people, but just that if you're going to UCID or UNSW, probably anybody and everybody around you is in that mindset already that, oh yeah, they're going to UCID, oh yeah, they're going to UNSW. They have chosen to spend X amount of money. So that means that they're going to make the most of it, if you get what I mean. Go8 universities attract high achievers, scholarship holders, founders, because you also need to know that group of 8 universities give out more scholarships. Their scholarship program or any of the application process for any of the scholarships highly contentious. Already automatically gives you access to people who have done X amount, have applied for scholarships, gotten those scholarships and are actually now on campus. So in closing out the video, hard truth, a degree from a group of 8 university without internships, without communication skills, without you leveraging the access you have to people there, without networking is worthless, especially for international students because the Australian market values proof of work, it values cultural fit, it values referrals, it values experience. And something that I didn't talk about a lot was the cultural fit because you automatically have access to people who are born and brought up up in Australia who are locals who go to these universities because they're well known. So yeah, personally, I mean, because I was able to make the most of my degree at Torrance University, and I'll make a longer video on this. I don't feel FOMO or I don't feel envy that, oh yeah, I didn't go to a group of 8 universities, so I missed out on opportunities, or I have a lesser pay or annual income. Nothing like that. At the end of the day, it all boils down to person. Even if you're going to a college or Torrance University or wherever, you can, you're on the same level as someone else from a Adelaide University, for example. If I were to say that person A, after doing a master's in marketing from Adelaide University versus person B, after doing a master's of marketing from Torrance University, both of them are sitting down for an interview. Who will be preferred? I can't say that the Adelaide University one will be preferred, because it all boils down to you being able to do the work, you having proof of work, you having portfolio, you having the connections, and you can do all of that while being in Torrance University as well. Just the access that a group of 8 university can give to you to, the certain 5 points that I mentioned can take you a level higher. So that was the video. If you like the video, like, share, subscribe, put down a positive comment down below, and I'll see you in the next one.
I'm laying where the stars shine so bright. Dreams of younger